You're going to learn the basics concepts you must know if you wanna be a programmer. These concepts will be applied in any programming language you use. But before you start to study any programming language, you should understand these basics concepts. Why? Because these concepts are applied in any programming language you use. So yes, they are essential. These concepts are variables, functions, and loops. What is to program something? Well, is to write pieces of instructions that tell the computer what to do and how to process data. And how do we communicate with the computer? It's pretty easy actually. We just have to say, hey PC, make me a game like Fortnite with RTX, realistic graphics and make me rich. And the computer will make it. Well, actually it isn't like that. To communicate with the computer, we must use a programming language. This is the way the programmer communicates with the PC and tells it what to do. There are a lot of different programming languages to use, and which one to use depends on your purposes. In addition, every programming language has syntax. It refers to the rules that define the structure of a language. If you want to create a function, it will depend on what programming language you are using. It's not the same to create a function in Unity than in Python. Once you know all this information, let's start with the basics concepts. The first concept is a variable. When I say variable, what comes to mind? Something that varies, something that can change? If this is the case, you are right. If not, you are stupid! So yes, in programming, a variable is a value that can change depending on conditions or on information passed to the program. Your mind may have exploded. I will explain it with an example. Things like lives, speed, score, high score, and that kind of things are examples of variables. For instance, if you receive a shot in Fortnite, your health will decrease. How do these values change? These values change depending on conditions that pass to the program. As we said before, for example, if you receive a shot in Fortnite, your health will decrease. If you collect coin in Mario, your score will increase. They are changing depending on what happened in the game. You can think that variables are a box where we put things, and that things can be used to change the things that happens in a game. There are some types of variables. Floats, for example 1.2, 2.3. There are also bools that are true or false, ints 1, 2, 3, strings, for example subscribe to the channel. There are also arrays and dictionaries. But floats, bools, ints and strings are the more basics. The conditionals are structures. No, not that kind of structure. Conditionals say, if something happens, I will do something. For example, if you like my content, subscribe right now. If you are enjoying the video, like it. Or in a game, if you have no lives, you die. If you press W, you move forward. You can also use else statements. If something isn't true, I will do other thing. For example, if you like my content, subscribe right now. Else, don't subscribe. But subscribe anyway. Next, the loops. A loop is a sequence of instructions that is continually repeated until a certain condition is reached. Or, for example, if you have a list, you can go through all the items on it and then print it. Or other example, maybe if you wanna print or show something 2, 3 or 4 times, you also will use a loop. For loops has a lot of uses, so I am not going to explain them all. But yes, they are usually used to manipulate data and changing them. For example, in an array, in a dictionary, etc. Another really important concept is functions. The functions are where all of our pieces of code are written. You may have a function to spawn obstacles, to make the player move, or to even become rich. Well, that might be impossible. These are functions you write yourself, you tell them what to do. But there are other types of functions from the programming language you use. For example, in C# in Unity, there is a function called start and another called update. The function start is called when the game is launched, when it starts. But the update function is called every frame. If you are playing the game, the update is being called. So, this is an example of a function of a programming language. You can't modify the behavior of any of these. What you can modify is what happens when they execute. For example, you can say that when the function start is called, so when the game starts, you can say that the players go to the center of the screen. Or in the function update, you can print some message while the game is being executed. If you read any script, you will realize that it's full of functions with the same type of information each. In these functions, there may be a combination of all the concepts I talked to you before: variables, conditionals, loops. Once you know all these basic concepts, you're ready to start learning any programming language you want and become a professional programmer. I hope you liked the video. If so, please consider to subscribe and like it. Leave a comment below if some information in the video was wrong or you just want to add some information. See you in the next one. Bye bye. Hey, you. Come closer, man. I have something to tell you. If you don't subscribe, you're gay!